You ready? Hello. Let's talk about it. Enjoy the music while we let others come in. Go ahead. Hopefully you all have had a great day today. All right. Okay. Hello. Welcome. I am Dr. Susan Robinson. Hopefully you're enjoying the sounds of this jazz. And I'm not gonna be before you long, but I got some information and some questions that I need to answer for you. So I'm gonna turn this music down and don't forget to tag and share. Sometimes you just need to sit and chill. All right, all right. Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am Dr. Suzette Robinson, and today our topic is going to be how well do you know about the foods that you eat? Um, I like to analyze the questions that come before me that you all send to my box and to my email. And there was one that came across that I thought was quite interesting to look at. We're all dealing with all type of things that's going on in our lives every day. And hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit and make sure that you can. Let me kind of get everything. Hello, Donnie. I'm gonna get things adjusted. I think I'm pretty good. Anyway, again, welcome to Let's Talk About It Tuesday. Today is such um, a great day. Every day that you're alive and you know that you're alive, to me, I consider it to be a great day. But here's a question that came to me. Um, and it was about dealing with your hair. A lot of our questions is normally about scalp issues or hair issues. And reading through some of the questions, this particular one stood out in everything that I've ever looked at was about how well do you know about the foods that you're eating. I was listening to a particular person and I realized just in the last couple of weeks, I've been viewing people that have been coming to get scalp treatments, and they're experiencing a lot of anxiety, stress. The number one thing is funguses that they're developing. Okay, so I kind of thought about it. How you doing? And I thought about it because everybody can't be dealing with high blood pressure or thyroid problems, just, in general. But I'm saying this to say this. This is one thing I sat down and I began to study, and I said, I wonder exactly what it is. My husband and I were talking about, hey, Vicki, we're talking about foods. And if you all notice when you go to the grocery store and you get those delicious, beautiful apples, they're really shiny, they're large, they're beautiful, they're good to the eye. But have you ever taken time to really rub them and notice the wax coating that's on them? Because a lot of times people will rinse them off and then eat them, which means that you're eating whatever wax or whatever coating they put on that particular fruit. Okay, I said that to say this. A lot of things that we're purchasing now, we're not really paying attention to them. Chicken, for instance. These are the largest pieces of chicken I've ever seen. Okay, and so the question is, what you're eating, according to what has been placed in that chicken, beef, or whatever you're eating, you're digesting it too. Okay, and so the body is taking in those things that are unnatural. Okay, so I was talking to one of my clients, and we was like backtracking over foods that she was eating, only to find out that um, some dairy products she was eating was really working against her. Okay, so I'm saying that to say this: it would make sense to me to tell you and myself, it's best that we start preparing our own foods, okay? Cultivate our own fruits, and vegetables. People say, well, I don't really have time for that. But you know what? With what's going on, people dealing with thyroids, cancers at the high. It's just a lot of things going on. And it's got to be foods that we'll consume. Here's something I want to share with you all that I picked up. It says, who cares about hair? Everyone does. Everyone, every male, every female, every child, we all do. We care about our hair, okay? Why? Because our hair is our covering. I got mine covered today because I'm not complete with my hairstyle. But point in case is that you don't miss something until it's gone. We're trying to get to the place where we can stop, getting to that place where we just got to have these non-surgical hair replacements. Now, if it's unavoidable due to sickness or injury, okay. But just as of now, foods that you're eating, you can control that. You can control how you prepare it. You can control what you're eating. My suggestion is to get organic. Eat organic. Eat organic. Now, people look at that and say, well, you have to pay a little bit more for it. It's worth it in the end because then you won't have to deal with these health issues. Here is something I want to read to you. It says, even people who don't pay attention to their hair care when it starts to thin or fall out. And that is a true statement. You may feel somewhat betrayed. You've been kind to your hair. You've bought expensive shampoos. You've kept up with the regular maintenance. And this is how it rewards you by falling out. It's more to it than that. We can buy all the products. We can do all. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I realize is really key is the change of your mindset on how you handle you as a person. Now, you don't want to get to the place where a lot of things are falling apart and then you decide to try to fix it. Well, now you need to do it now. You need to think about what you're eating. Think about how you're preparing it, okay? Always think about where you purchase your food from, okay? And here's another thing that I've been noticing. Just because it says F-R-E-E, eat. Free is not always good, okay? First of all, you've got to look at what you're, when you see free, well, I'm going to get that. Make sure it's good for you before you just go pick stuff up, and because look, we're talking about our overall health. Here's something else, okay? When you were young, when we were in our youth, we did, you're right, you are what you eat. We were, we did a lot of things. We weren't thinking about the consequences that we were going to get older. We weren't thinking about the consequences that if we do this, this will happen. We did it, okay? Did it without thinking and just act. Well, as a result of it, we're dealing with issues now as we get older, okay? We're dealing with issues now. But now it's not just the older people that I see. I see a lot of young people, and that disturbs me a lot. Okay? So, what exactly is your hair? Other than just your covering that's on your head. Okay? Now, to be frank, the things that you eat, you feed your hair. You feed a lot, you feed the entire body. And what I'm seeing is really disturbing me right now because I'm having to sit down and try to think on how and what ways we could do to help our people, help us totally to do better because younger men hairlines are going back, 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 back. Um, they're dealing with funguses underneath the skin. And we got to look at the foods that we're consuming. We've got to look at how we prepare our food. We must look at um, look at dates on your stuff that you get when you go to the store. Don't just pick it up just because you can. And many of us are on medications due to poor health because some of us are not taking care of ourselves like we should. Now, here's one. Inflammation. Most of us are dealing with inflammation in our joints and we're having trouble with our knees and all these areas. Let me tell you something. A lot of times, and I tell people, when you read that book that says Eat Right for Your Blood Type, Eat Right for Your Blood Type is a very good book because what it does, you look at your blood type and you'll find out there are some foods that you're eating and you'll see the results of eating that according to your blood type, what it will do. Mine is one thing is chicken. I love chicken, but I can't have it like I love it, okay? Because it causes inflammation in my joints. And many of you that know me personally know that I've had trouble with my joints, my knees, and stuff like that. But the moment I decided not to have the things that hurt me, I didn't say I stopped. I said I don't have as much, okay? And I do feel better. I'm not on my cane anymore, and I don't wear my brace. But with that being said, I still have to be extra careful. Okay, I go back to the statement that says, "How well do you know about the foods that you're eating?" You're eating. When you go to the store and you get ready to purchase your groceries, here's a great suggestion. Sit down before you even enter into the store and analyze the things that you need to purchase, to consume, but make sure that you get those things that are healthy for you. Not only that, you want to look at the food. You're going to look at dates on your foods. You're going to look at, now here, if that chicken is big as a turkey, don't get it because it's been injected with something, okay? And if you want it because, oh, that's a big one, then you're consuming whatever they put in there. Okay, we've got to be extra careful and we've got to pay attention. Now's the time, if you've never done a garden, now's a good time to plant a garden and put you some tomatoes and, things that you've grown and you have control of over that. And it's going to go into the body. I'm not saying everything that's at the grocery store is not good, but a lot of it is not. And because we're big consumers, and we will not go that extra mile to really pay attention to what we're consuming in our body. We just want what we want. We just came out of 4th of July, and a lot of people barbecue. They did this, they did that, and that. Okay, that's all well and good. But you know what? You got to watch your consumption, because the result of that, a lot of ailments and different things that we deal with, is brought on by damage that we've done to this body. You got to be careful. Fruits and vegetables are going to be your greatest asset. Fruits help cleanse the body, and vegetables help heal the body. When this body was created and put together, it was put together to heal itself. Okay. So, but when we start putting things in our body that shouldn't be in our body, then that's when we start having problems. And I'm seeing more now than I did. And I recognize a lot of it dealing with stress, because people don't have jobs, and this is going on and that is going on. Okay. So a lot of things have to be put in place when they come to me to help them deal with a lot of stress issues. And you can naturally handle that. Once again, going back to those chamomile teas, those teas that help calm and soothe, because you cannot think when you're like this. Okay. So one thing you want to do is get a clear head. Be careful of the things that you consume, even when you're watching television, your conversation. All those play a valuable place into your overall health. Now, going back to the foods, go and pay attention to what you're purchasing, and go to a reputable place. I always say that, whether it's a beauty supply store, whatever, you want to go to a place that's reputable, that you're not going to have the right things that you need when you need it, okay? Okay, so you're not alone dealing with causes of hair loss and personal impact. This is happening all over the world. So how do you deal with it? What do I do? See, a lot of this is personal, because when you first begin to deal with self, it's not a group. When I deal with self, I can't deal with my husband, my children, and all that. I have to focus on me first. Those of us that are parents and our children are young, we have to set boundaries, and they eat according to what you fix for them. You teach them how to eat healthy. You teach them how to put in their bodies what need to be in their body. They learn that from you. Just like our ancestors and people in the families, well, in our family, we have high blood pressure, we have this. And that's true, especially when we're all eating the same way, or preparing our food the same way our parents did, okay? So there are some things, as you learn better, you need to do better. So there are some things that we might have put in our greens that taste good, but they're not good for us. So you have to make a decision on whether you're going to keep cooking that way, get the results of poor health, or you're going to change that. That's something that you have to make up in your mind to do. And so, yes, everybody's dealing with the causes of hair loss and personal impact, because devastation will cause you to lose your edges or have thin spots. So you have to be, we living in a time now where we really got to really, we got to trust God through it all. Now that's a true statement, because there are a lot of things we don't have control of, but we do have control over what we put in this body. You got control over that. And, I cannot say it any clearer, that you've got to watch what you eat, okay? You got to watch juices that you drink. All these color juices with these dyes in them is not good for the body. So you've got to take control over your own life if you want to be here. And I tell people that because we're dealing with a lot of disease, funguses. I've seen more funguses. And I was on one of my classes, on one of my online classes, I have a nail class too. And I was telling them about how important it is to make sure your implements are clean. Well, you guys, it's the same with us. Your combs, your brushes, different things that you use, you have to make sure you do the right maintenance of keeping those clean. You can't let everybody use them. I would suggest if you're a family, you have a comb for your daughter, comb for your son, comb for your husband, comb for yourself. And you keep those things sanitized and clean, and really do the proper maintenance that it takes, because a lot of things were cross contaminating, because you know how you get that brush and you get that comb, you comb all that hair out, but we would have used it on everybody in the house. We no longer can do that. We need to do what it takes to continue to get the results that we need. Because when you come to me, my first thing, I'm going to ask you all of that. And one thing I definitely will ask, how's your eating habit? How's sleeping? Do you go to sleep at night? Do you have a hard time going to sleep? Hard time shutting your mind down? It goes back to those herbal teas I was talking about on I think the last time I was on, different things that you can take to help naturally put the body at rest. Okay? Put the body at rest. So, I want you to be very cautious about the things that you're consuming. Everything that's shiny is not gold. So when you go into that market and you see that big, beautiful apple, and it is so pretty, don't forget to clean it very well, because it may have wax on it. I mean, things are colorful, coated, and we just got to pay close attention to the things that we're consuming, because we're help breaking the body down. We're causing more damage than we need to, because a lot of us on the go. We got to stop and get this. Hey, go ahead and prepare your lunch tonight, so you know what you're consuming. Get prepared so you can take better care of your body. Get into bed at a good time. I'm talking to myself. Drink plenty of water. Water helps flush out a lot of things in the body. And water is a great neutralizer for the body as well. So you want to make sure you put in your body what is needed, what is needed. So when the question came to me and says, what about, how well will I know about eating? And I said, well, it starts with paying attention. Where you get your groceries, what you buy, how you prepare your food, okay? If you do want the book, those of you that's looking, or someone on the replay, if you want that book, please inbox me. I will be glad to send it to you. And it's Eat Right for Your Blood Type, because you need to take better care. Listen, you guys, things are changing. And if you got to get in a better position where you can survive, where you can make this journey, because a lot of times we will wait until calamity is up on us and then start preparing. No, now is the time. Now is the time to do better, so we can think better, so we can perform better, so we can treat our families better. And listen, parents, those children that we have, sometimes we can't tell them what to do, which is a true statement. Let them grow up so that you can be free to, hey Tawana, so you can be free to pay attention to yourself. You need to put yourself right in the scope of, of the mirror, because you're no help to anybody if you're broken down, if you're sick, if you're having problems. And so the first thing I've noticed, because I picked up, even during this COVID, it has not slowed my business down. It definitely hadn't slowed the school down, because we've actually picked up more students, which I'm grateful to God for. But I noticed a lot of clients are dealing with anxiety, and they're trying to find that place of peace. And I told them, and they're picking up weight, their stomachs are messed up. And the reason why I find it so important to really hammer this in is because I'm seeing more of them coming in. And because I see them, I want to help them by telling them these are the first things. See, there are things that you can do before you actually get into the place that you're in of panicking. You've got to take better care of yourself, okay? And it's going to come first by consuming the right foods, eating the right foods. And y'all, that take discipline, because we're so used to doing things a certain way. But we can do this. if you're serious about it, it can get done. I want to thank those that have made their orders. I've sent orders off. Thank you for sending your getting orders for your products. We got more products coming. It's forthcoming. We'll be talking about that. But you know, I appreciate it. Use it according to the manufacturer's directions, because when you use it according to the manufacturer's directions, you're going to get the results that you need. And I do want to say that before I forget. And also, those that are inquiring about school, I appreciate. I've gotten a call today. We have several more classes that have been added, and I'm grateful for that. But all of the classes have one thing in common. We make sure, even the students, you have to take good care of yourself, okay? You cannot effectively go through these courses, get your certification, and you're not in good health, because you can't do what you were trained to do if you're having issues. I will say this also. When you take this class, it's one thing, any classes, anywhere. It's one thing to get your certification, then to go on and become a drugless practitioner, and then get your medical number. All that's wonderful, but it's no good if you don't do anything with it. And this is for anybody that's doing business. If you're starting a business and you take the time to go through all of this education part that you need, and then you just sit there with certificates on top of certificates, and you're not doing anything with it, then what good is it? See, if you get it to use it, okay? And so I want to encourage someone who's looking on here. Hey, Deborah, who's on here, and I want to encourage you. These are important issues at hand, because when people contact me and I'm talking to them about education, about classes, about this, that, and the other, I have to tell them, make sure you position yourself. If God has given you a vision to do something, if He's given you a vision to do it, He's giving you the wherewithal to bring it through. But you got to do it His way. And I think that's the key to everything. And I'm grateful to say to you all that coming on here, talking to you, you contacted me, talking to me, is a blessing in itself. And I want to say this, let's elevate together. We have seen enough division, we've seen enough fighting, we've seen all of that. But now it's time to move forward. And the only way you're going to do that, you've got to uplift one another. And that's another thing that will keep you healthy and alive. But don't forget, take time out. Sometimes you need to go back and think about what your parents used to do. They prepared the night before for the next day. They just prepared. And now we live in a society where we're just in a hurry. Everything is, let's slow down. Let's get things in order. Let's put things where they need to. Sometimes we put the cart before the horse, and that hurts us, okay? And so, like business, I had to sit down and revamp all of my paperwork, which has been a total blessing. And I'm grateful for that, because now it has legitimized everything that I've ever wanted to do. And let me tell you something, those of you who think you need a group of people to get things done, if God gave you the vision, then it's up to you to birth that baby through. You got to bring it through. Now, He may send other people along the way to help along with it, but ultimately, if you're carrying it, like me and my husband, when we were having our kids, yeah, it was a joint effort in making the baby. But when I had to carry it, it was me. Okay, so I had to make sure I ate right. I had to make sure. There are so many things you have to do to get prepared. And I'm telling you, your gift will make room for you. And I'm grateful for that, because P2P is now in the Bahamas, and we talking about Africa. So it's places, but I could not have done it unless God did it. I only followed what He put in front of me. And there are times you have to tell people, I can't hang out with you today. I got to study. Or I can't do this because I need to do that. You determine where you're going to go with whatever it is that you're trying to do. But the first thing I want you to do, watch what you consume. That's conversation, that's television, you name it. It's everything. It ain't just what you eat. It's everything around you. If you're planning to be hey Donovan, if you're planning to be very productive in your business, if you want to be very successful, you've got to surround yourself with like-minded people. And sometimes your circle will be very small, and it's okay. It's quite all right. But you need to be with like-minded people that want the things that you want in order for you to be successful. If you don't have those people, then you'll find yourself just pulling, and it gets harder and harder. You've got to put you've got to put yourself in a great position where you can be a blessing to yourself, your family, and those that you have influence over. People are watching us, they're looking at us. I don't agree with people when they say, well, our industry is going down. It all depends on what you're talking about. Now, behind the chair, you know you need to tighten up on that. Education is important. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it will take you places. It will put you in a position of power. So what I'm saying is that don't just stop here. Just keep going. Keep elevating yourself. Get to a place where you can elevate even higher. I'm grateful to God for everything that He's doing. And yes, thank you. Um, he's the driving force behind me. But I got to give a shout out to one of my biggest cheerleader, and that's Reverend Donnie Robinson, who also is my pastor. He helps me keep going. I've gotten so much done in the last couple of months that I never dreamed that will get done. And I'm so thankful because he kind of pushed me, say, hey, you got to finish this, you got to get this done. Come on, you ain't got time. So I had no time to look at what I didn't have. Reverend Davis used to always teach us, do not take you don't take inventory on your lack. You don't do that. And I have finally learned not to take inventory on my lack. And so with God, all things are possible. And as long as I got Him, I got enough. I have not, I have not, I have not gone without. I haven't had to get a loan. I haven't had to do any of that. God is good. He supplied my every need. And I mean that, even down to getting accreditation. He supplied every need. So I'm saying that to say this, if God can do it for me, He definitely can do it for you. It's just you got to get in a position with God, and you've got to know where you're going. You've got to see yourself moving forward, but you got to have a vision. Without a vision, the people perish. If you don't have a vision, people can tell you, oh, this is a good idea, let's do this. And this got a good idea, you can do this. And let me tell you something, I don't have to call people, I don't have to look for people. I don't even have Blue Cross Blue Shield call me. And I'm grateful because if you position yourself just right, you'll find yourself not going out looking for them. God will cause men to give into your bosom. So I'm saying that to say this, I don't know who I'm talking to. Hopefully this will help you in some form or fashion. We talk about eating good. We talk about running, drinking water. We talk about all those magnificent things that we have to do. But one thing we must talk about, we've got to deal with this mindset we have. Having a mind to want to do things right and to put wellness on the inside. If you're going to read a book of worth. If you're going to look at a movie, look at one that's going to build you up, okay? Not put trash in, but build you up. If you're going to have friends, get friends that's going to build you up, and you can build them up. That's what you want. That's the kind of life you want to live. And I'm hoping that I've said something that will help you. If you want to know anything about, if like some have sent me their blood type, and I've sent them information on their blood type to help them understand how to consume and get those things in your body that you need. I will do that. So I'm grateful. Those want education. We have classes all the way up to nail classes. It's just been phenomenal. God has just been adding on, adding on. We started out with 4 classes, and now I think we're up to what, 6 or 7 classes, and they're still growing. So we're grateful, and he is just, he's doing what he does best. And so others from different state of Virginia, Washington, Nassau, Bahamas, and I know I'm leaving somebody out, but those are where some of the educators is going to take this, and it'll be planted in their area. Okay, we're working on doing a clinic in Georgia whenever we can get everything going. We just believe in God, but if it be God's will, it'll be. So I just kind of look to the hills from which comes my help coming from the Lord. And I pray God's blessing on you. I pray that something was said and you do understand what's going on. If you need more details about eating, please send in more questions, and I'll try to address them each week. May God bless you richly. I am Dr. Suzette T. Robinson. I am an educator for the Institute of Cosmetology out of Washington, D.C. I'm also an educator for the P2P Certification and Training Institute, the owner of Wigs by Suzette Hair Replacement Center and Clinic. So you can contact me, wigsbysuzette.com. If you're looking to get educated, all the information is on the website. We have a YouTube, which is P2P BHAM. On YouTube, please check that out. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm just keep my name in, all of my information to come up. Also, if you need to talk to me personally, my number is 205-503-9916. And if you want to send some information in to me, you can send it to the email address, which is p2pinformation7@gmail.com. It has been my pleasure. I've got to sign off now. Be blessed and live.